The universe is non-static. It is not the result of inertia, but rather the product of balanced energies, cooperative minds, coordinated melanges, spirit over control, and personality unification. Stability is wholly and always proportional to infinity. There is operative throughout all time and space as with regard to all reality of whatever nature, an inexorable and impersonal law which is equivalent to the function of a cosmic providence. Mercy characterizes God's attitude of love for the individual. Impartiality motivates God's attitude towards the total. The will of God does not necessarily prevail in the heart of any one personality, but His will does actually rule the whole, the universe of universes. God is not a habit-bound slave to the chronicity of the repetition of His own voluntary acts. There is no conflict among the laws of the infinite. They are all perfections of the infallible nature. They are all the unquestioned acts expressive of faultless decisions. Law is the unchanging reaction of an infinite, perfect, and divine mind. The acts of God are all volitional, notwithstanding this apparent sameness. In God, there is no variableness, neither shadow of changing. Because God is changeless, therefore can you depend in all ordinary circumstances on His doing the same thing in the same identical way and ordinary way. God is the assurance of stability for all created things and beings. He is God, therefore He changes not. And all this steadfastness of conduct and uniformity of action is personal, conscious, and highly volitional, for the great God is not a helpless slave to His own perfection and infinity. God is not a self-acting automatic force. He is not a slavish, law-bound power. God is neither a mathematical equation nor a chemical formula. He is a free will and primal personality. He is the universal Father, a being surcharged with personality and the universal fount of all creature personality. The fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of man present the paradox of the part and the whole on the level of personality. God loves each individual as an individual child in the heavenly family. Yes, God thus loves every individual. He is no respecter of persons, and the universality of His love brings into being a relationship of the whole, the universal brotherhood. Brotherhood constitutes a fact of relationship between every personality in universal existence. No person can escape the benefits or the penalties that may come as a result of relationship to other persons. The part profits or suffers in measure with the whole. The good effort of each man benefits all men. The error or evil of each man augments the tribulation of all men. As moves a part, so moves the whole. As the progress of the whole, so the progress of the part. The relative velocities of part and whole determine whether the part is retarded by the inertia of the whole or is carried forward by the momentum of the cosmic brotherhood. It is a mystery that God is a highly personal, self-conscious being with residential quarters, and at the same time personally present in such a vast universe, and personally in contact with such well-nigh infinite number of beings. That such a phenomenon is a mystery beyond human comprehension should not in the least lessen your faith. Do not allow the magnitude of the infinity, the immensity of the eternity, and the grandeur and glory of the matchless character of God to overawe, stagger, or discourage you. For the Father is not very far from any one of you. He dwells within you, and in him do we all literally move, actually live, and veritably have our being. Even though the Spirit of a Son be poured upon all flesh, even though a Son once dwelt with you in the likeness of mortal flesh, even though the seraphim personally guard you and guide you, how can any of these divine beings of the second and third centers ever hope to come as near to you or to understand you as fully as the Father, who has given you a part of himself to be in you, to be your real and divine, even your eternal self?